Welcome back, guys. So you're always asking us, everybody is always asking me, so is the simulator actually realistic? Well, I hate to disappoint you, but I have no idea. However, I have somebody right alongside me that will. So we have Harvey with us. Harvey's been on the sim since he was 6 maybe, or he used to get on my sim and I could never get on it because he always used to pinch it. But he's been on that since he was 6, and we told him if he was good, he could have a go in a car. And then he got really good on the sim and we thought, oh, that's not ideal. We promised him a go in a car, but he's still really young. Luckily, PH Drift stepped in and now he drives with them, as you've seen in the previous videos. To say, so many people keep saying, how realistic is that sim? Is that sim that made him the driver he is? Or is it just down to the teaching, or is it a bit of both? Well, we'll ask Harvey, see what he thinks.
So in my opinion, I think it's a bit of both. Because you can transfer skills from simulator to real life.
So we've been very, very lucky that we've got 2 amazing partners for the sims. So we work with Moza Racing and Next Level Racing. As you can see, we've got Next Level Rig, Moza Shifter, Moza Hydro, Moza Wheel, Moza Base, and you're gonna have to lift them up, the Moza CRP pedals. They have been a lifesaver because even though the sim is good, it's not hard to buy some bad equipment and just completely ruin the experience. So with what we've got, I think we do pretty well. So there's the wheel. What do you think of your wheel?
I love it so much, especially the carbon fibre in the wheels, because I've never had wheels on my... In fact, I've never had buttons on my wheel before.
Right, shifter, what do you think of the shifter?
I actually like H pattern shifters.
You do?
Yeah. Good,
because I won't be buying a sequential. And the pedals, what do you think of the pedals? In fact, let me butt in. I think the pedals are great. So the pedals on this are cell loaded. The clutch has got a double stage biting point, just as a real car would. So the pedals, I think, are probably more important than anything else on the sim. So as you can see, we've got the real track. We've got T-side. However, it's not raining. The track is actually made by Jack Cliff, which is as close as you're going to get to real life. It's got all the awkward bumps in the same place. It's got the hills, it's got the tyres in the same place, and even the same colour. So as far as the track goes, I don't think it can really get any more realistic. So this video is something we've been wanting to make for quite some time. We did a lot of filming at Teesside for this. We had plenty of onboards, however, the GoPro cloud somehow deleted all of our footage. So the only one we've got is of the crash. So we're not going to practice a crash on the sim because that's just daft. So we'll see Harvey, see if he can do a run for us. So did that feel like it did last week?
No.
Was that because you're using a car with 1,000 horsepower?
Yes.
So are we going to jump into a proper car and see if we can actually have some grip?
Yeah.
Okie dokie, let's do it. Straight off, the car that he was in was a virtual competition car. It was actually his virtual competition car. Is that realistic? Well, it's hard to say because that's not what he's been driving and that's not really anything you can compare to. However, now we've got the PH Drift GT86, which has been built, so that is something that PH Drift can give to his students and let them practice on the sim. So now we've got a more realistic car. Let's try again. How was that?
Good. Very good.
Was it similar?
Yeah.
Was he doing any bad habits that you've learned from the sim?
I don't think think so.
I think you was. So the steering was really snappy, wasn't it? You was really aggressive with the steering wheel, and you don't do that in a car, do you?
No. I sometimes just don't notice that I do these bad habits.
So is that something you learned from the sim, or is that something you've learned in the real car?
Both actually.
How have you learned the bad habit in the real car?
By going on the sim too much and doing that.
So you've learned the bad habit on the sim?
Yeah.
Straight off you can see he's got a couple of bad habits. When he was in the high horsepower car, you could hear him trying to find grip with the clutch. Now if you try and find grip with the clutch in your car, you're just going to ruin the clutch. So that's a bad habit, and that is something that he actually tried doing in a real car, and we very quickly had to say, you know, please don't break these cars. Second bad habit was the steering. You see how aggressive he is with the steering on the sim? Again, if you do that in a real car, you're just going to end up throwing yourself off the track, which he actually did last session, which is quite a good comparison really, I guess, just for this video. Obviously in drifting, tyre wear is bad, very bad. So it's all well and good having new tyres, getting used to the car. However, on the sim, on Assetto Corsa, you can change the car setups, and we're going to do that now. So we've kicked Harvey out of his seat, and we're going to mess around. We're going to completely ruin his car setup. So as you can see, you can change from part 1 tyres to street tyres to semi-slicks. Now he's not having semi-slicks. We'll give him some part 1 tyres, and we'll put 50 psi in them. What else to do? What else should we do? Suspension. So we'll stiffen his back end all the way up so he's got no grip. We'll shout him back in, see how he gets on. Go on then, do a send. How was that?
Good. The car just didn't really feel the same.
Why? What does it feel like?
Feels like I have no grip.
Can you stop driving? Thank you.
Alright.
It feels like what?
I have no grip in the car.
Why have you got no grip in the car?
Have you turned the tyres down whilst I wasn't looking?
What do you mean turn the tyres down? You can't turn the tyres down, they're not on the volume switch.
You know what I mean.
Yes, we've put part 1s on.
Knew it.
You've seen we can give him no grip at all. Now we're going to give him all the grip and see how we get some of that. So we'll soften that suspension all the way up. That's going to be absolutely disgusting. Tyres, put him on semi-slicks. 15 psi, and we'll shout it back in. Very grippy.
Very grippy.
Did we not put your setup to what it was before?
I don't feel like it.
Why? What does it feel like?
You've messed with the settings again.
Why? What have we done?
You've made it more grippy. I know you have.
So obviously we can replicate the grip. We can do all sorts. Obviously Harvey has never tried tandems. However, I have. So we'll take a clip from this, and we'll take a clip from my car, and we'll compare the both. that you just pressed?
This button.
Yeah.
Box.
Can you do that in your real car?
No.
So that's not very realistic, is it?
No.
So, verdict time. Do you think it's realistic?
Yes.
So, as realistic as it is, obviously, there is bad habits. There's lots of bad habits that come from the sim. And it's important that they don't translate into the real car, because if they do, you're going to break the real car. It's not going to be reliable, just like our real car. Obviously, the back to pits button, the stuff like that, you can't feel what's going on. That's just because you're on a sim, you know. You could try motion, we don't. I think you'd be petrified of motion, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I hate going on them.
You know, you make your own mind up. We think it's good. It's a very, very good tool, and we're lucky to have the sims. But as I say, there's so many bad habits that come out of them, and it's just important that you keep them pushed to one side when it's time to jump in the real car.